Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to yet another webinar. In this webinar, we're going to be talking about how to unlock email marketing success for your startup. This webinar is designed specifically for startup. So if you're a startup founder, you lead the product team, or you lead the marketing team, or you lead the customer support team, or you lead the sales team, this webinar is for you. There's a lot you can learn from this. Before we get into it, I would like to ask a question. Right, so go into the comment section, or you can send me an email directly, and the question is, what challenges are you currently facing with email marketing in your startup? What email marketing challenges are you facing with your startup right now? Right, I will do my best to respond to all questions. So my name is Praise Ali Johnson. I am the regional head for SendPulse Africa, and I will be taking you on this journey today. So let's get right into it. In this webinar, we're going to be talking about why email marketing is crucial for your startup or for the success of your startup, the basic of email marketing tailored for startups, how to build an engaged list from 0 to 1,000 to 1,000,000, the role of automation, data-driven strategies, and you also have access to free templates and all that. And at the end, we're going to deep dive into some best practices. So let's talk a little bit about SendPulse. SendPulse is a multi-channel and all-in-one marketing platform, and we are on a mission to empower Africa businesses of all sizes to grow and stay connected to their audience. Communication is like the bedrock of a startup. The moment you've built your product, the next thing you want to do is to make as much noise as possible and communicate the benefits of the products to your audience. And at SendPulse, we are passionate about providing you with the tools and resources to do that. We are proud to serve over 2 million startups, businesses, small businesses, large businesses, mid businesses throughout the globe, and we enjoy seeing them grow and get results every day. Right here on your screen are some of the companies we are proud to work with. I'm sure you can recognize one or two right there. So what are the products that SendPulse offers, or what are the tools that SendPulse that you have to use at SendPulse? We have everything from email marketing tools, the best in the market, free CRM, so you do not need to pay for CRMs, especially if your startup is just starting out. You can take advantage of the free CRM. You have access to transactional emails. For example, you want to send OTPs to your customers, you can take advantage of the transactional email services, bulk email, SMS services, bulk email services. And then you have access to sales pipeline automation or automation. All right, so we call it Automation 360. They give you access to automate everything on the SendPulse platform. You have more tools. You can build landing pages, you can build sales pages. And one of that product I really love a lot is the chatbot service. Right, the AI-powered chatbot service. You have access to build chatbot for WhatsApp, chatbot for Instagram, chatbot for Telegram, chatbot for Facebook, and also chatbot for your website. That is the live chat, and all these. You can also use AI to make this chatbot a little smarter. You can also use AI to generate the chatbot for you. So an example is you want to build a chatbot for customer support and you want to build it on WhatsApp. You can tell SendPulse AI, build me a chatbot, all right, or build me the conversation flows for a dental clinic, all right, or for a SaaS startup, and it will go ahead and create all the necessary questions and answers that possibly might be involved in a customer support or a customer support scenario. So you can take advantage of the chatbot services to build systems like that. You can build customer support system, you can build customer engagement system on the chatbot service and all that. So yes, all these services are available for you to try out on the SendPulse platform. Just go to sendpulse.com and get started. So let's get into it. Why email marketing? Why is email marketing so important? The first important thing I always want to think about is the fact that email marketing has a return on investment, a very high return on investment. I remember someone asked me, how do you say email marketing has a $44 return for every $1 spent? How is that possible? This is a proven fact. and an independent body did this research and came out with this number. I have done the experiment myself, and I was able to get about $3,900 $3,900%. That's about $39 for every $1 I spent on email marketing. And don't get me wrong, you need traditional marketing, you need sales system, and the whole idea here is that once you've spent money to get data, so let us say you run a Facebook ad, you run a TikTok ad, or you run an Instagram ad, you have pulled data from those platforms, right? In exchange for whatever you're offering, you're asking for customers' email address. Once you have that email address, you are not paying for that email address again. All right, you've gotten it once. There's no need for you to pay for that data again. You've paid for it once. So now you have access to this data, and you can go and head to market to them, educate them over and over and over again at no cost to you. So that's what generates that highest return on investment. So in a situation where your startup have done marketing for a long period of time and you've accumulated a lot of data, you now have this data, your own private audience to sell to. So you do not need to get those audience anymore. So it saves you cost. It is basically the best analogy is basically like pumping water into a bucket instead of pumping water into a basket. A lot of startups are spending money on running campaigns and basically pouring that content into a basket because there's no how they can engage with the audience they are getting. So that's one advantage of email marketing. That's why it's very crucial for the success of a startup. Another important thing is direct communication. You have direct communication with the audience. You do not need to go through a platform. You don't need to go through TikTok. You don't need to go through Instagram. You don't need to go through SEO anymore. You talk to them directly. It's basically like having the phone number of a friend you can call and tell about your startup. You have access to targeted audience. So in a scenario where you have multiple products and a startup and someone signs up for product A and another person signs up for product B, you have that data, right? And then you can market to the person that signed up for product A differently from the person that signed up for product B. That's where you are targeted. You have targeted audience. You are selling exactly what they came to buy. One very important thing that I believe startups will love is the fact that email marketing is very measurable. You can measure the results. Metrics such as open rate, click-through rate, conversion rate allows you to track the performance of your campaign and make data-driven results, not just let us see how it goes. You're making data-driven results. An example could be you send a Black Friday email and then you see that the Black Friday email did not perform as you expect. You can look through the statistics that you have access to, and then you can make some changes to whatever statistics you find. For example, you send an email on Tuesday at 9 p.m. People may not open the email at that time. You can see the decline in open rate. You can decide to change it and test it again and see how you can improve the performance of your campaigns. Another important thing is that you can build credibility. Let us say you get a girl's phone number or a guy's phone number at a party, and you can start chatting on WhatsApp. The more you chat, the more you make yourself like you are the guy or you are that girl. The same thing with your startup customers. Now you have their email address. You can send consistent and valuable emails, right, to them that will help establish you and your startup as an authority in that industry, right? So you can send them tips, you can send them tricks, you can send them how-tos, product updates, promotions, whatever. And the more you do that, the more you're able to establish yourself as that go-to person. You can also increase sales. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. You can increase sales. The more you talk to someone, the more they trust you. Then you can offer something, say, hey, upgrade to Pro Plan, upgrade, buy this or buy that. They are most likely going to make a purchase. And it is very easy to scale. Scalability is a very important thing to start up. The more users you get, the more customers you get, the more inquiries you get, you can conveniently scale that at very little cost. So you do not need to expand any new systems or anything like that. You can easily scale that at very little effort to your startup. One important number to have in mind is that almost everyone in this world has an email, right? It's funny how email has come to become more like our identity. our online identity. Think about it. For every service that you use on the internet right now, you need your email address to log in. And remember last week, someone was telling me, oh no, I don't need my email to log in. I just use my Gmail. I was like, who will tell this person? You need your email to log in, because now using HOAS and all that, Gmail is basically being used as, but in reality, the startup that provides the app is receiving your email address. So in all reality, our email address is basically like our online identity. We use it for our bank apps. We use it for literally every internet services that we have access to. So yes, so no matter how small your business is, no matter how small your startup is, you have access, you have the power to reach through email marketing 24/7, 365 days a year. So you have this massive access to customers. And you have the advantage of reduced effort that comes with email marketing, and the structure in which you can structure email marketing strategy in a better way and connect with your audience in an instant. We'll talk about that shortly. So we've talked about the return on investment that is high, and this is according to the Data and Marketing Association 2019 report. Just go and Google about it. DMA 2019 report is written there. So before we go into the nitty-gritty about how to do that, I decided that we should bring forward best practices first, so that you have this at the back of your mind. Be on the right side of the law. Now, when something sounds quite easy, we all assume that there's literally little or nothing we need to do, and there is no law guiding it, but it's the same thing with email marketing. It's the same thing with email marketing. So there are laws that guide email marketing, right? And guide basically communications on the internet. When you transfer money from one bank to the other using a bank app, we also assume that it's an easy transaction. But in reality, a lot happens between you, the bank app, and whatever infrastructures or whatever entities are involved in the whole communication. The same thing happens with email marketing, and the same thing happens with marketing in general. Right? So we'll go through this. I just want you to have it at the back of your mind as we go through whatever we're going to talk about, because I'm going to reference it from time to time. The first thing you need to think about is some of the policies. So I listed a few here. There are more, but I listed a few here. Number one, GDPR policy, General Data Protection Regulation. You can check it out. Number two, the Can't Spam Act of 2019 is basically means the Controlling the Assaults of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing Act of 2003. We have the CASL law, is a Canadian anti-spam legislation. We have the PECR, Privacy and Electronic Communication Regulation. NDPR, that is the Nigeria Data Protection. So if you're a Nigerian startup, this applies to you. Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. POPIA is the Protection of Personal Information Act. If your startup is in South Africa, that law relates to you. And we have the Ghanaian privacy private information policies. We have the same thing for Kenya. So wherever you are located, either in Nigeria, either South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, check that you adhere to all these policies. And now, regardless of your local affinity, these policies are also international. For example, if you obey the POPIA law in South Africa, you still have to be bound by the Can't Spam Act, the PCR policy, the GDPR policy as well. Don't forget, you are relating with international solutions and international systems. For example, you want to send an email to a customer that uses the AOL address. You are communicating from wherever your startup is located to wherever AOL is located, and then the customer. So you need to adhere to all the policies that guide and that protect everyone involved in that interaction. All right. So the foundation of all this policy is simple. Don't get people's data without their consent. Right? It's a no-brainer. Don't buy information. Don't sell information. Make sure you respect people's private data. Ensure that you collect email addresses and personal data legally, and always get explicit consent. Never ever fall for the idea that someone is providing you with emails that they are telling you it is verified. Just look at it as this, right? I can sell a kidney to you and tell you that it is verified, it can work for you, but I'm taking it from someone else without, their consent, or it may be an illegal system. Make sure the person that is giving you the data is aware that you are receiving that data and aware of how you plan to use the data. It's that simple. Let me give you an example. Someone comes to your site and you are offering a discount. Tell them, in order to receive this discount, provide us your email address. We promise we will not spam you. Your email address will be used to send you more information about what we do and provide you the discount. Simple. The moment the person gives you that information, they've trusted you with their data, and you have to respect that. You need to respect customer privacy while delivering personalized experience. All right. So let's just say you went for a party and someone asked for your number, and you give the person your number, and then you got back home that night and you received 50 missed calls from that same stranger that you just exchanged numbers, and then the person keeps sending you messages and trying to reach you and calling you for days on end. You feel like your privacy has been infringed. You feel like this person. Obviously, you go ahead and block the person. So no matter what you think you are offering, even if you're offering the cure to the greatest sicknesses in the world, you still need to respect people's privacy while you are trying your best to deliver personalized experience. Now, I use the word personalized experience because a lot of people go about their email marketing in a non-personalized manner. An example of this is, how would you send me an email and call me dear to who it may concern? I received that email from from a company a while ago. I think the company was based in India, and it's written to whom it may concern. How do you get my email address, and why are you addressing me in such a manner? I deleted it, and I marked the email as spam just to make sure that I help the next person not to receive such an email. So yes, make sure that you are personalized, the experience. So if you're asking for email address, ask for their name as well. It's just easy. And then avoid spam at all costs. Avoid spam like your life depends on it. Send emails and give some time for people to read them. All right, let's go on. So we're going to start with the art of personalized welcome email from the founder. So since we're talking about email marketing for startups, one very important thing we want to talk about is the emails that the founders will send out. And why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because emails from the founders are very personal, and they have a way of building credibility for your startup. So if you are the founder, or you are in a position, I will call it the executive position or the C-level position, you need to have a strategy where you send welcome emails to startups. I've received welcome emails from the founder of Flutterwave, from the founder of Paystack, from the founder of some of the big startups we have in Africa. And it's just something that your startup needs to do. In fact, it's something you cannot avoid doing. So how do you go about that? So let's talk about how it's done. How it's done. Number one, make it personal, warm, and gentle. All right? Personal, just use my name. Don't say something else that is not my name. And if it's not my name, make sure your brand strategy, all right, or your communication strategy includes a non-generic name. All right? Includes a non-generic name. For example, you can call me, something else apart from to whom it may concern. All right? Now you need to express gratitude. Thank you for signing off our platform. We're happy to have you here. As simple as that. Then it's not compulsory, but it would be nice to share your story. Why do you start this company? If you are at the early stage, share your story. Why do you start the startup? What brought about the idea? Let me feel connected to the idea. All right. Then you need to align some value proposition. All right. This is just something very short. So what are we doing that is very special? Then you need to set expectations. Oh, I would like to hear from you, or expect more emails from me, or whatever it is you want to set expectations. If you don't have anything for this the user to expect, you don't need to add that there. You also need to offer some personal touch, right? It may not be something so serious. It could just be, I love so much what we are doing here as our startup, and I'm happy to share that with you. Something as simple as that. You also need to reiterate community benefits. The world is getting to the point where we cherish community. All right. So if you have any way that customers can engage in such a community manner, for example, follow us on Instagram, to stay updated. That's an idea. Or join our community on Slack, or join our community here or there. Or stay tuned on all our social media, or follow me on Twitter. Whatever options you have, you need to make sure that you have some sort of community benefit. All right. Oh, the more you use the product, the more you have access to perks, whatever it is you have to offer as well. And very importantly, you need to ask for feedback. All right. Take some time off, use the product. I would like to hear, how the product has helped you, or how you've been able to use it. And if there are any issues, hey, talk to me directly. I would like to hear that. Obviously, it may not be you that reply the email, maybe someone on your team or whatever, but it's nice to have. And then you need to have a call to action. Your call to action could be, we have whatever it is you want to offer. Right? It could be as simple as just asking them to upgrade to a paid plan to get the best option from the best, access to the product, or you could just tell them to, whatever action you need them to take. An example is, let us say you run a fintech startup. You just tell them to make their first purchase or perform their first transaction. Just make sure you had a call to action that they can easily do. And then you need to have a personal signature. That's a no-brainer. Just let make it sound so personal. Your name is just enough. So here's a very short example from a startup founder of Universe. Thanks for making a site with Universe. Universe is basically a site builder. I'm the founder here, and I want to personally welcome you. It's my commitment to make your experience fantastic. At Universe, we practice whatever a Japanese term for continuous improvement, fixing, polishing, and adding what's possible. So you can see exactly how we outlined it here. So you can take this outline, you can make it as long and as short as you like. Now you can see the call to action that says, if you have a great experience with Universe, I really appreciate a review. So that's what you want. You want them to leave the email and go and make a review outside. Let's take a look at another example. All right, I have something available here. All right, I don't have another example, but I have a swipe that you can copy. All right, so I created a swipe that you can copy. I would advise that let me make this bigger. Right, so I'll advise that you just take a look at it. If you want that, just send me an email. I will send this to you, and I can send multiple options to you as well. So the subject will be something like, welcome to startup name. Let's begin our journey together. Something simple. You could just be something else. So the first line we have a thanks, gratitude. It's not every day someone takes a leap of faith with a new platform, which is true. I'm genuinely grateful that you've decided to embark on this journey with us. A little bit about our story. A few years ago, I found myself facing blah, blah, blah. So a story, so you do not need to be elaborate with this. You can make it as short as you think. Then we have our promise to you. This is value proposition. Our promise to you is simple. All right, to provide the most user-friendly platform for XYZ, saving you time and effort. We're here to make sure whatever it is. Then we have expectations, what to expect from us. Expectation number one, for example, consistent updates and improvement based on your feedback, prompt and friendly customer support, a community of like-minded individuals to share and grow with. That's what to expect from using this platform, for being a part of this community. All right. And speaking of community, one of the things I'm proud of is the vibrant and supportive community we are building here at your startup name. It's not just about our platform, it's about the connection, shared experience, and growth that comes from being part of building something bigger. So now we're talking about feedback now. Your voice matters to us. If there is any ever anything you like to share, suggest, or even critique, please do not hesitate to reach us. Feedback is the compass that guides our journey, and we're always eager to hear from you. If you've ever received an email from me, I always include at the bottom of the email that if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. All right, so we have a call to action, ready to dive in. Start your first project tax experience here, whatever it is. Once again, thank you for being part of our story. If you ever want to chat or have questions, my inbox is always open. All right, so basically as simple as that. If you also want to see a welcome email that I wrote a while ago, I wrote about a few years ago, and I'm thinking of changing it in the new year. So next year I'll make an update to that. It is an automated email, or I do not write it manually every time you sign up. So create an account on SendPulse, and in the 30 minutes or so you receive that email from me, and just let me know what you think about it. You reply the email back and tell me, hey, praise, thanks for this, and let me know what you think about the email. All right, if it makes sense to you. So let's go on. Because of our time. So let's continue. Open rates. So why are welcome emails so important? Now there's the founder welcome email. So that the founder welcome email is very important. It should not be mistaken from the standardized welcome emails. So a standardized welcome email will be much more designed and built by the communications team or the marketing team or the system, whatever works for you. And the whole idea of that is that you want to guide users on the first things they need to do to use your platform. So let us say that you have a fintech platform and it's for cross-border transactions. Your first welcome email, apart from you sending email as the founder, the next email you want to send out will also be a welcome email that will tell people exactly how to make a transfer, the countries they can send money to, and all that. All right, guided step on what to do. And one very important thing for those two emails is that the user are currently on your website or your app, and they are interested in making a purchase or whatever it is. And that way you have the highest open rate. Right, you have the highest open rate possible, and we have seen an open rate of welcome emails to as high as 82%. So that means that welcome emails have a very great potential, right? So you can take this to your advantage. Never skip sending a properly written welcome email. Slip in some useful information that you want your audience to know, and try as much as possible to send a welcome email under 24 hours. I think 24 hours, it's even way too long. So under the first few 2 hours of interacting with your platform, they need to receive that. So that's where automation comes in. We'll talk about that soon. So as I mentioned earlier, imagine you've gotten a 82% higher open rate because you are sending a welcome email. Now imagine combining that with a personalized email, which now improves your open chances by 40%. Think about that. So let's now dive into more details. Let's talk about sending your email. How do you craft your email, right? So how do you craft your email? So the first step of crafting your email is to ensure brand optimization. And I believe as your startup is growing, you basically, before you've launched, this foundation of every startup, in fact, before you even got the idea, you've gotten the logo, you've gotten the name, you make sure you ensure brand optimization in all your communications. Ensure that if there's consistency in your communication systems and your communication strategy, right? So brand optimization is by far one of the most important email design best practices, right? You need to ensure your email speaks your brand language fluently. Now, it seems like I'm putting a lot of emphasis on it, and it's important. Whenever you receive an email from your bank, it's consistent with whatever branding the bank has. You go to the bank branch, you see the same branding. You receive a letter from the bank, it's the same branding. You receive your card from the bank, it's the same branding. Everything is consistent. So you need to add the name of your brand to your from email address. On your email, you need to have your logo, obviously. You need to be sure that you include your brand logo. This will increase brand recognition and give your email more chances to be opened, right? And apart from the chances of being opened is the fact that people know it's you. The rise of scam is growing. Phishing and all that is growing. So you need to make sure that you protect your brand as much as you can. And make sure your email template design is consistent for all email campaigns. You need to stick to the colors you use. You need to stick to the font you use. And if you can't find the font, stick to a font that is close to your font. Customize layout and then your email footer, right? We'll talk about each of these in details. So here is an example of flutterwave. As you can see up here, we have flutterwave theme, right? So you can use your name, you can use just the generalized organization and like flutterwave theme. And then we have the logo, flutterwave. You can see that the brand of the email is consistent with the flutterwave brand. So the color is consistent, the graphics is consistent, everything is consistent. The email I sent to you when you sign up for this webinar is consistent with the SendPulse brand. Our colors are consistent, the branding is consistent. The way I speak is also consistent in the email as well. Very, very important. So make sure you have the head of communications and let that person let that be their responsibility, right? I know that as a very early stage startup, you're going to be wearing multiple hats. So try to build consistency as much as you can. So one other easy thing you can do is to use ready-made templates. So SendPulse already has like almost 300 ready-made templates right now. So you can pick one of them, make them like yours, just redesign them and just save them. And then you can keep repeating, you keep reusing that template. All you need to do is just change the content in it and then just send it out. So you don't need to redesign every single time. And make sure your emails come from a person. If it's not coming from a person, it should come from the organization or a department. For example, product team, or the flutterwave team like you just saw. So with spam and scam everywhere, I've mentioned this already, trust is highly important, right? Trust is highly important. And your email sender address and name is important to represent you. Your email sender, meaning that if your name is Josephine, for example, and you're sending an email as the head of communications for the organization, for your startup, it should be josephine@yourstartupname.com. It needs to be consistent, all right? So if you have emails for product updates, if you have emails for OTPs, like, sign up codes and the rest, you need to have those kind of structure to your email. And then when you have communication emails, for example, product updates, tips and tricks, how to use the product, and it's coming from a person, as much as possible, make it come from a person, right? We have Carrywise, Okwe from Carrywise, we have, Uche from Bolt and all that. You need to make that as consistent as you can. Simple, but ensure that email addresses, that the addresses your email are coming from is one owned by a human, and that the sender name isn't just one no reply. Now, if you're using a no reply are basically best for transactional emails, not for email campaigns. So what are transactional emails? They're basically emails that are sent based on activities or transactions. An example could be someone uses your platform, they log in. Login notification does not need to come from a person. It can come from a no reply because it's basically a notification. So notification emails are best coming from a no reply. But communication emails, like product updates and the rest, should not come from a no reply. It should come from a person. All right. So write like a human, right? Make sure it comes from a person. Make it look good. You are writing to people. Don't forget that. If I receive a notification email that I just logged in, I understand it's a login email. If I receive a transaction notification email that I just sent some money to someone and just confirm my transaction, I understand that it is. But if I'm receiving an email telling me that there's a product update coming up and it's coming from a no reply, it's coming from a random email, I will not believe the difference. It's a completely different thing. If I'm receiving an email for Black Friday sales and it's coming from a no reply, come on, all right? You are talking to human beings. You need to have structure to the way you do that. So make sure that communication emails general communication emails, product updates, and all that are coming from a person. I cannot stress that enough. So let's talk about subject line. Right, I have seen a lot of subject line that yes. So this morning someone reached out to me and said all my emails are going to spam. Well, I take a look at your emails. From the subject line, there was a lot of reasons why it's going to spam. Don't forget, before we get into this topic, when you send out an emails, there is something called email bots. This bot basically checks content of emails and then categorize those emails based on the content and based on some of the things that are written in the email, right? So that's how, if you're using a Gmail, for example, and you've asked yourself, how does Gmail know which email to allow in my inbox, which email to allow in my promotion tab, and which email to allow in my social tab? Is because of the contents of the email, right? So if emails sound promotional, they will be sent to promotion tab. If emails sound like it's coming from a friend, from a person, it goes to the inbox. If email is from a social media platform, it goes to the social. And if emails are very confused, have confusing content and confusing behavior and confusing consistency, the email service will just drop it in the spam folder. So Gmail will just look at it and throw it to the spam folder. No explanation. So there are some important emails you are sending to your customers that your customers are not seeing because they are going to the spam folder. So here is how to write a subject line properly. Subject line should be personal, engaging, and relevant. Now, this line I just read out to you, you can go ahead and check the Can't Spam Act. It's written in the Can't Spam Act that subject lines should be personal, engaging, and relevant. You cannot lie on your subject line just to get people to open it. This is not like a YouTube video. You cannot do. So if you are talking about something in your subject line, it should be what you have in your email body. Do not use caps excessively, incorrect punctuation, or continuous words. So you want to talk about Black Friday and you go to "Don't miss out on Black Friday," all in caps lock. It will be in the spam folder. The chances are high that email will be sent to the spam folder. But if you say something like important, or if you say something like important all in caps, and then you now say whatever you want to say after that, important or news all in caps, Black Friday deals coming up, that is better. You've captured my attention with the caps lock, just one word, and you go ahead and use normal sentence case for the rest. Subject line is advised to be 50 characters long. Now, one of the reasons why it's advised to keep it at 50 characters long is so that it can fit in the mobile view. All right. Now, more and more people are opening their emails using mobile devices because no one goes to the laptop just because they want to read emails. Most people read emails on the go. So to improve your open rate, you need to say whatever it is you want to say in a way that I can open my Gmail and I read whatever you want to tell me in the mobile view. Also, when it gets too long, you improve your chances of getting in the spam folder. Yeah, consider using emojis. So emoji has a way of conveying a lot of messages with just a picture. All right, so consider using emojis to convey the message you want to convey. Be creative, be informative, and be personal. Now, why do we talk about being personal a lot? Why do we talk about being personal a lot? We talk about being personal a lot because email was initially created for communication between two people that know each other. Right? So business people that know each other, they exchange emails and they have that conversation with each other. So now email marketing got involved in a way to take advantage of the platform to sell or the platform to communicate on a large scale. So with the advent of marketing via email, the status quo still remain. You need to be personal. It still needs to sound like it's coming from someone that cares and coming from someone that you ask to receive the email from. All right. So do not use more than 15 capital letters in a row in a subject line. All right. Pre-header or body of an email. So just keep that in mind. So let's talk about the pre-header. I hope you're taking notes of all this. Let's talk about the pre-header. So a pre-header is basically the small sentence immediately after the subject line. As you can see on the screen right here, we have this email from Uche from Bolt, and this email says, praise, here's a chance to save when you need to move. And then there's a preorder. The preorder says, who doesn't like discount, right? So here are yours. So the subject line grabs my attention, but the preorder gives me more context into what I'm supposed to expect in the email. All right, so it's a very powerful tool to take advantage of. Adopt an excellent email layout. Just the way you build a website, that you have to have what we call site architecture, where content needs to be in the right place at the right time, and the content needs to be displayed in such a manner that guides people's eye to take the necessary decision, actions they need to take. Same thing with email. So I'll just run down through some of the important points. Make sure your email is about 600 pixels long, and this is basically for a designer. So if you have a designer in your organization, they should take advantage of the SendPulse template builder to design a template and then make that template available to anyone in the organization to send out emails. So why do we need to keep your email at 600 pixels? It's so that the email will not be too wide for multiple screen types. So for laptop, for desktop, and for mobile devices, you want it in such a way that when media queries query when you're viewing the email from a laptop and you're viewing the email from a mobile device, it fits very well. All right, messages are not hidden on the left and on the right. Stick to vertical layouts. It's very funny where I have to mention this because I think I received an email from a bank where the emails are horizontal layout. So basically I had to scroll all this way to read whatever is there. So yes, keep your email in a vertical layout. Stick to the inverted pyramid design. I will talk about that in a moment. Inverted pyramid design when crafting an email template, and make it as so basically it makes a reader slightly move to the desired action. So it's more like you are funnel. Yeah, it's like a sales funnel. You're basically funneling people through your email to the desired action. So you need to aim for a 60-40 text to image ratio. So 60-40 image text ratio simply means that you need to have 60% of text and 40% of pictures. Now, what happens if you have it the other way around? Your email will go to the promotion tab. So if you check the promotion tab, you will realize that the kind of emails you will have there are mostly like e-commerce emails, because they always contain a lot more images than text. So if you have more images than text, your email will most likely fall in the promotion tab. That is aside from your email sounding promotional or using promotional words or connotations. So yes, text to image ratio will improve your chances of your emails getting into the inbox. Write messages that load fast. Right? Heavy images tend to slow down your emails, right? And then they get flagged as spam. Now, it's very important to know that hackers like to embed malicious codes in images, and that can have a way of increasing the size of an image. So, if you send an email with an image that is heavier than it's supposed to be, right, you will know when you're about to send an email using the SendPulse platform, and you get to the page to send your email, SendPulse will notify you when your image is bigger than it's supposed to be, or when the total size of your email is bigger than it's supposed to be. SendPulse will notify you to make changes to your email. So you get your designer to compress images as much as they can, and make it as light as possible, so that when you send your emails, the email services would not think that your emails are malicious as to why is your email so heavy, and then flag it as spam. Two things can happen: it will go to the spam folder, or it will not get delivered at all. So use short sentences as well as paragraphs, while also dividing lines and spacing to separate sections of your content. This is basically a no-brainer. When you're writing, write like someone that went to school. Keep spaces, write your paragraph well, and all that. Keep it clean. And it's funny that I say that, because a lot of emails I've seen are written like someone just copied content somewhere and pasted it and did not read through and just send email. So read your email and organize it very well. Don't forget, you're writing to a human being. So here is the inverted pyramid design. So what does it mean? The inverted pyramid design simply means that on the top of an email, you want to have your welcome statement. You want to have your important information. So as much information as possible, keep it up there, right? So let's say I'm on my mobile device and I receive an email. I'm most likely going to read what is visible. So all the necessary and very important information you want to provide should be in the most visible part, which is the first paragraph on the first two paragraphs of your email. Then on the mid section of your email, you want to have additional information. This is where you most likely want to have your call to action. All right? So where you want to include your button or whatever call to action options you have, that is where you want to put it. And then we have the least important information. So on the least important information, you can have your PS like, oh, if you have any questions, send me an email or whatever information you want to put there. People are less likely going to read that part. The moment they read the first part, they summarize and they go for the call to action if they're interested. And then if they need more information, they scroll down to check more information. So there you have your social proof, which includes your social media links, websites, whatever information you want to put there. You cram them at the bottom of your emails. Okay? So if you want to give an example of this inverted pyramid, just check out the email I sent you. I put the information about the webinar, summarized it, call to action, then some other information at the bottom. Basically, I'm sure you did not read that. So call to action should be specific. Now, we've been talking about crafting your email. So call to action should be specific. People get confused a lot. And I do not want to open an email and have to figure out what should I do next, right? I don't want to go to a website and say, oh, what do you want me to do now? I want to know exactly what to do, right? So don't confuse people. Tell them exactly what you want them to do, all right? You want people to click through from an email to your website, make a purchase, grab an offer. Here's an example. This is basically an email from Grammarly, and this is like a section, the mid-section of your email. And right here we have upgrade now. So it's specific. We are not distracting people. We're not telling them there's a button here, there's a button here, there's a button here, there's a button here. Right? Yeah, you can do that once in a while. But if you want better result from the email, have a call to action and have that call to action as specific as possible. All right? So upgrade now. So everything you said should lead to this. Everything you said in your email, right, should lead to this upgrade now. Now, last but not the least for your email design is to craft the ideal footer. I put a foot here to tell you that the shoe you wear when you go to somewhere is as important as the clothes you wear. Okay? So an excellent footer should contain the brand contact details. This is a no-brainer. Every email is required to have it. Right? You need to have your social buttons, an unsubscribe link. Now the unsubscribe link is in fact, it's as important as brand contact details. In fact, it's more important than the brand contact details. If you go ahead and check the Can't Spam Act, you are going against the Can't Spam Act if you do not add an option for a customer or an audience to opt out of an email. All right? Let us say you are sending an email to a customer and you are telling them that you are giving them offer 20% discount, and they're like, too rich, I don't want your 20%, I can afford your service. They don't want to receive emails again not talking about 20% discount, so they opt out. Mind you, customers can opt out from specific email segments. So for example, if you have categories like product updates category, promotions category, general email category, customers can opt out from each category as they deem fit, right? And they can choose to opt out from receiving an email from you altogether. So you need to provide those options to your customers. Once they click on the unsubscribe button or the link, they are giving those options. So if you use the SendPulse platform, you can make those options for your customer. So this way you will not lose a customer directly. You could just let them choose you are tired of our promotional emails, that's fine. But you're okay to receive you're okay to receive product update emails. That's fine. So, all right, that makes sense, right? So it is also important to include why are you receiving this email to reduce the chances of spam. So here's an example using both, right? So both have here their social media links, perfect. They have the company name, perfect, and they have the address of the organization. So if you are a startup working remotely, just find. I'm sure you should have an address where you receive emails or when you receive mails or or stuff like that. If you have a co-working space, you can also use a co-working space address as well. If you no longer wish to receive such emails from us, please click here. Here is the unsubscribe link that you add to your emails. So always check your email for spam. Always, right? Get into the habit of checking your email, every email you send for spam before sending it. Now, SendPulse does this for you. And this is why SendPulse service is great. You don't have to guess. SendPulse does this for you. When you are about to send your email, you receive something like this called recommendations for improving email deliverability. Beautifully said. And here, SendPulse will tell you the issues with your email. So here we have two issues with this our email. Number one, we have sender data issues. And this sender data has issues such as DKIM and SPF. I'll talk about that soon. And then we have email body. This email body has too many capital letters. It is not recommended to use more than 15 capital letters in a row. There are no alternative attributes for images. Add alt attribute for images. If the images do not load, descriptive text will appear in their place. So I believe your designer will understand this perfectly well when they are designing the emails, so they understand things like alt placers and all that. So if you want to take a step further to be on the safe side, you can choose a third-party service like mailtester.com or run an email spam checker with SendPulse at the last stage of creating a campaign. So always check. You can never be sure. In fact, there was a time I sent an email last year, Black Friday, and I in that email I wrote, I spoke a lot about free. I used the word free in all my emails, in that specific email. And SendPulse told me that there are too much free. I didn't know because I was just writing emails, rushing, and I was about to send it, and I just received this same screen telling me that I have way too much free words in my email, and they're all in caps lock, so I need to change them. I just went ahead and changed them. I use what we call alternative words. So instead of free, I would just say stuff like offer, or I just interplay the words from there to there. And we wrote the email, and the email had very, very little spam score. Right? So having a low spam score means that your email will perform better than an average email with a very high spam score. All right. So let's just talk a little bit about what it means to have a DKIM and an SPF record. So when you send email using the SendPulse platform, your emails are signed using the SendPulse signed domain. But for an improved delivery rate, your startup needs to sign all emails that come through SendPulse with your domain as well. So that's what it means. All right. So once you get to this screen, and if you see this, just click on the highlighted link and you can learn more about that. So let's talk about automation. Automate everything. Automate everything. From welcome emails to guiding your customers through the process. Automate everything. Let's go into it. Lead nurturing. So if your startup has a free offers a freemium product, so 12 days free, free for life, 30 days free, you need that moment, right, to guide a user on how to use the product. So from the moment a user signs up, they are already ready. They are ready to use your product and discover its benefit. So if you don't have a salesperson that reaches out to them instantly, all right, an email takes care of that, introducing your product to your users. It's very beautiful. I've seen some startups use this need nurturing system excellently well, right? And I will sign up today. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. I was just testing it out. I signed up. Under 24 hours, I received an email on how to create how to upgrade my account, how to make withdrawals, and all that. So you need to guide users on what to do, on how to make the most of your platform. Relevant emails. Automations provide a way to send relevant emails, right? So you can take advantage of the best moments to approach your users. All right. So did the customer try your product for the first time just a moment ago? It might just be a perfect time to send them an email. An example of this, for example, an e-commerce site, you can automate an email to be sent to customers the moment they abandon cart. So they're about to make a purchase, they enter their information, and they did not make a purchase. Maybe the payment option wasn't working, or their internet went off. You can send them an email immediately and tell them, oh, we noticed you're trying to make a purchase. What happened? You didn't help with anything. So our customer support is available to help you, right? So that is very important. So this email can be triggered at any time. I could be 2 a.m. right now trying to make a purchase on your website, and then for some reason I couldn't. I'll receive an email. That timely email is beautiful. People will think that you guys have structure in place. Improved strategy. So having all your emails carefully planned out is a much better approach than sending them chaotically. So sit down as a startup founder, sit down with your team, map out a very structured email marketing plan. Customer comes to our email or website or our app, download the app. We need to send them a welcome email. Let's write that down. We need to send them this, we need to send them that. Someone trying to make a purchase on our site, it does not work out. We need to send them something. You need to have that planned out. So it's not like a chaotic email that the sales team tells you, oh, customers will not be able to make purchases. Then the customer support, no. Do not engage in fire brigade approach. Use proper automations to make this work, to make your life easy. Reduce errors and save time. This is a no-brainer. If you have to send emails every time something happens manually, or you need to structure emails manually by yourself, you're obviously going to make mistakes. One important mistake I see a lot of companies make is personalization. All right. So because for some reason they don't have the time to go through the process of personalizing the emails, they just wing it, and then they make a lot of mistakes. And then you can go ahead and save time. So if you set everything once, you don't have to go back and revisit it. For example, as I mentioned, whenever you sign up on SendPulse, like if you sign up on SendPulse for the first time today, the email you received from me was written January. It was written in December. I think it was written 2 years ago, right? I'm saying this now. I'm going to change it next year. So January 1st, you receive brand new emails. But the whole idea here is that I don't have to bother about that. I've written the email 2 years ago. I edited it in December last year to just make a little changes here and there because SendPulse had a new product, so I went to update the products there and all that. Yeah, I can make changes to it. I don't have to delete and start over again. I can just go back to the same email I sent to new users 2 years ago, make some changes to it, and you will receive the same email today. It saved me a lot of time. So how do you build an engaged list from 0 to 1,000 to thousands? There are a lot of ways, right? So here is a basically top level overview. Traffic, lead capture, email automation, profit. So traffic, your startup has social media pages, right? You have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You have an SEO on your website. You have Google Ads, whatever traffic sources you have. You drive those traffic to your app, to your website, to your web app, to your landing page, whatever. You capture this data, and then you automate, like I mentioned, welcome emails, whatever emails, and then you guide and you nurture these customers to making a purchase. This is basically a simplified overview. So let's talk about web app integrations. So with the help of integration plugins, for example, you have a website that uses that, an e-commerce store. Regardless of the e-commerce store, you can integrate the SendPulse platform into it. Whenever a new customer signs up, as the new customer data is going to your database, their email address, their name, whatever purchase they made is going to the SendPulse platform. And the moment it lands on the SendPulse platform, an automated email is triggered to be sent to them. See how beautiful that sounds. So you can directly opt in users into your mailing list and start sending them timely automated campaigns if you want. And I will not advise manual campaigns. All right. So SendPulse offers over 40, I think 50. Yes, offer over 40 integration options and direct API integration. So you have integration options for e-commerce stores, for websites of different types. And if you have like your backend is built on Node.js, on PHP, on MongoDB, on Go, whatever, you can use the API wrappers or the API libraries to integrate directly into those services, into your backend. So if you have like a landing page or you have a website, you can offer lead magnet. All right. There are some companies that they have. An example of this is Steers. So Steers provide analytic services, right? So they provide data. And during presidential election in Nigeria, they provided real-time data. And there's this thing they did. You give them your email address and you receive updates. You receive email updates. And you receive timely, verifiable data. So that's how they build their audience, all right? So if you have something you can give as a startup, offer it as a lead magnet. An example of this is Paystack has a ebook, not just one. They have multiple ebooks. They have one for growing your business on WhatsApp. They have one for, if I can remember, they have one for how payment works or something like that. Brass also it's a fintech platform as well. They have ebook too on business growth. Just go to Brad's, I think it's Brad's Launchpad. You can take a look at that. They have ebook on how business can grow, how you can grow your business. So no matter how small or big your startup is, you can find something you can offer for free. You give it out in exchange for customers' contact. So just need your name and your email address, and you can send them emails to nurture them and then inform them about your product, and obviously get them to making a purchase. Also, you need to provide social proof. So if you are at the early stage or whatever stage your startup is, I'll use this example. So let's say you are building something and you've not launched yet, but you are building in the open. So that means you are publicly building. That means that you are building your startup and you are constantly tweeting on Twitter, we're building this is where we are. But you want customers to sign up, basically to join your wait list, right? Use social proof. If you have 1,000 people already on the wait list, just tell people, join 1,000 people on our wait list, like this example, join 600,000 other humans and have new posts emailed to you. So you can say join other 1,000 people on our wait list. As it increases, you keep saying the word numbers, join 10,000 people on our wait list. People don't want to join a list that is new, right? They don't want to feel like you guys don't have, your things sorted out, right? You don't have anything. So they don't want to be the number one on the list. And it's easy to start a community from an existing community. So yes, use social proof and then you'll see the number grow. And then on this topic of building an email list, the last important thing is to verify. This is very important because if you are giving out a free ebook, people are most likely going to provide you with a fake email address. They are afraid of spam and they're afraid of their contact information being used wrongly. All right, so yeah, you need to present yourself as a trustworthy startup and provide that promise. I've gone to some platform where I see things like, we will never spam you ever. You can say something like that. And the whole idea here is that you want people to give you their email address, the real one, not the fake one. So in a situation where they give you the fake email address, you do not want to store that. You do not want to store that email address for 3 reasons. There are many reasons, but I'll talk about 3 reasons. Number one, it's a waste of money. You don't want to send emails to people that don't exist. Number two, it affects your delivery rate. If you have a high fake email address, it increases your bounce rates, and thereby increasing your reducing your delivery rates, and thereby reducing your overall email performance. Right? And then three, it's not just good for business. It can discourage you, thinking that people are not willing to give you people don't trust you enough to give you the necessary information that you need. So how do you go about this? There are two ways to go about this. You need to use double opt-in. Double opt-in simply means that someone comes to your website, fill a form, they have to receive an email first. So if you are given a free ebook, don't redirect to a page. Don't do that. Send the free ebook using automation to your email address. All right? So send the ebook to their email address. Do not redirect to a different page. Instead, redirect to a thank you page. Tell them that that ebook they just asked for is in their email. They should go check their email. So if their email address is fake, you understand, they will have to go back and do the whole process again and actually give you the right email address. So the double opt-in means that they will receive an email to confirm their email address, and the moment they confirm their email address, they will receive the free ebook. Using the SendPulse platform subscription option, you can use the SendPulse landing page with the subscription option, and you can enable double opt-in. This will greatly improve the quality of your email list, not just the quantity of your email list. And don't forget, quality is much more important than quantity. And then you can use the email verification service. So peradventure you've built an email list from a different source, not on the SendPulse platform, and then you are bringing that email list to the SendPulse platform. Take advantage of the SendPulse email verification service. What that service does is it tests all your email, tells you the one you can send emails to and the ones you can't send emails to. So you can just go ahead and delete the ones you can't send emails to, and that way you can focus on the quantity or the quality of email addresses you have and throw away the rest. Because in the end, those emails don't exist. All right. So let's talk about best practices. We're coming to the end of this, and I'm fast approaching. I think I've used a lot of time. All right. So best practices: ensure compliance with email marketing regulations at all time. Right. So take a look at them. Go and Google GDPR, CAN spam, CSL, all these policies. Google them, learn about them, and make sure that your marketing systems and practices complies with all this. Number two, ensure that you collect email addresses and personal data legally, and always get explicit consent. Very important to get explicit consent. Let me talk about this a little bit. Don't be that guy that goes to a party and hear a lady giving another guy a phone number, and then you go and type it and you call her and say, you gave me your number at the party and you don't remember me. You did not collect that number. You are a thief. All right. Respect customer privacy while delivering personalized experience. Avoid spam at all costs. Always keep an eye on your statistics. So on your SendPulse dashboard, once you log in, the first thing you need to do is check your statistics. What is your error rate? If your error rate is high, take a look at the reasons why your error rate is high, right? Take a look at your unsubscribe rate. Why are people unsubscribing from my email list? Take a look at the reasons they are subscribing as well. Right. Set up SPF and DKIM records to vouch for your emails and reduce the chances of your emails being treated as spam. To learn more about this, I will put the link in the description later on. And you can send me an email directly if you want to learn more about DKIM and SPF record, or sign up on the SendPulse platform today, sendpulse.com, and then when you log into your dashboard, you will see more information about that. We provide integration assistance, so if you do not know how to do that, our support team will do that for you, so no need to stress yourself. We also help you with your DKIM and SPF record. You do not need to do that. You don't need to stress on that. Okay. So the free gift I'm offering to you is the free email guide. Just go to your browser and type freeguide.pulse.is. Fill up your information. This is an example of lead magnet. This is a lead magnet, all right? So this lead magnet basically tells me that you are interested in learning more and then we have your data, and I'll provide you with personalized experience, send you one email once in a while, and you can reach out to me personally and get more support to making sure that you get the best results from email marketing for your startup. So yes, freeguide.pulse.is. freeguide.pulse.is. For all the questions that are coming, I will send an email to if you signed up to attend this webinar, I will reply all emails to everyone, so you will receive an email with all the replies. So I don't have time for questions and answer. We are fast approaching our time. So if you have any questions whatsoever, send an email to praise@sendpulse.com. Simple as praise@sendpulse.com. All right, not Prince, PRAISE @sendpulse.com. And engage with us on social media. We are available on TikTok, on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. So send us a message. We're very happy to respond to you. Okay, and thank you so much for your time, and see you on the next one.